Got it right. That's fine. You know, they can go once you pick up the ball. But it's always low.
Alright, well, as you know, we've just conducted the BETS 2010, the Berkeley Evinrude Team Series, with this magnificent Sydney Harbour in conjunction with the Sydney International Boat Show. I got two guys, look, the smiles on their dials, they say. Mark Healy, Adrian Neo, they have come in and actually just smashed it. They've come with an awesome bag of 10 fish for the grand final. Guys, you're not from the area, so you've actually come down a few times, you've done your pre-fish, you tried to put a bit of a plan together. It obviously worked, didn't it? Right, your pre-fish. Did you then run the last 2 days and stick to that plan, or did you have to move it around a bit?
Yeah, where we sort of found fish in the pre-fish the last few weeks and that just wasn't happening on pre-fish day. We had some spots that we knew were some good fish, so we left them alone. We didn't even sort of go there at all on the pre-fish day, we just left them. I think that's the right thing to do usually, so yeah, just backed them off and they were there on the day. So
yeah, well that can be, it can be a good thing, or it can be, you know, sort of playing with fire, because those fish might, you know, they might have moved on. Conditions change, everything changes, but I mean, you took that gamble, it did pay. Your presentation, did you sort of, everybody thought it was going to be deep, Sydney, winter, you know, harbour bite, deep. You do that, or did you go back up in the shallows?
Yeah, well, in the pre-fishes last few weeks, we've been getting a lot of fish in sort of that 15 to 20 foot on blades. What we did notice in the pre-fish though, that sort of technique had dried up a little bit. The fish, we knew the fish was still there, we could see them on the sounders, but they just wouldn't bite on the pre-fish day, so we mixed it up a bit. We tried some plastic vibes, some finesse vibes by Krenker, and we sort of got a few on them on the pre-fish day, so we thought, we'll leave it at that. We also were fishing plastics around the harbour and that. We actually went down a 3 pound leader on the pre-fish day to get a bite, and then we had to do that in the comp to catch our fish. They just wouldn't bite or anything heavier. So
yeah, well, as you said, you heard Simo yesterday, him and Chris Hickson. Chris was using 4, Simo used 6. Yep. Simo didn't even put a fish in the boat. Yep. He's gone down to 4 today. He caught fish, you've gone down to 3. Yep. That could have been the difference for you guys, but I mean, it certainly paid out. So what sort of technique was it? Did you ever sort of have to just leave it and wait for the fish to pick it up, or was the bite always on the slow drop?
With the plastics, most of them were on the drop, but very lightly weighted jig heads, just cast into the structure, just watching your line sink and just looking for that tick on the line, and then not just actually hitting them, but just winding them on. And then they realise, because they're only using really light leaders, so we want the fish sort of coming out when winding on before they realise they're hooked. They've got the plastic and the jig head in their mouth, they start swimming towards you. And by the time they realise they're actually hooked, a lot of the time they're out from the structure, and then hopefully they don't get back.
No, as I said, that's one technique that I have actually spoken to Mark Huskin about. A lot of guys you're seeing, they fish structure, they get a bite, and they're wrestling. You know, they're asking for disaster on the light tackle. I've always found, as you said, just straight wide them. Sometimes I'll just put the rod at them, straight wide. It's just like leading a pony out. They'll come out. When they're in the clear water, then you can do back the drag off, fight them in. And as I said, it is a good technique. And the guys that are switched on these days, like yourselves, are the ones that are picking up on this. So, Adrian, good comp?
Yeah, very good comp. Obviously quite successful, so it always makes it more enjoyable. But yeah, like Mark said, we put in the hard yards to do the pre-fish. We came down almost every weekend for a couple of months to try and work them out. Not being around the area, so it was a bit hard without the local knowledge. But yeah, at the end of the day, we had to change our plan a little bit just to suit the conditions. Got a bit windy today, which made it a bit hard to cast the structure, but
yep.
Yeah, we're still.
Well, as I said, you've got to go out there. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, your conditions you change back again. You've got to adapt to it. So, do you find as a team, do you sort of just say, look, this is what's working, or do you try and say, well, you do this, I'll do this, then that's what's working? Or do you just say, oh, no, we're both doing the same thing? How do you sort of approach that and make that decision?
I think it's the same with most teams. One person will throw one thing, another one will throw something different, and whatever works on the day, the other guy will probably change over.
Yep.
And if they're both not working, then both will be changing.
No, as I said, we've all got that massive arsenal of goodies in our in the big skeeters, plenty of storage room, and yeah, we all spend a fortune on the gear that we take. Now, you guys, you're I think you said on stage you're Berkeley soft plastics.
Yeah, we used we caught most of our fish, well, all our fish on 2-inch bulky hauls, the Berkeleys, and Cranker Vibes. They're a finesse vibe, plastic vibe. They don't sink as quick as the blades, but when you get them down there, you can work them that little bit slower, and they're just, the fish just come up to them and they mouth them, and a lot of the time they will just swim off with them, and then you've got the fish. That's what the big one, the 1.5, came on yesterday, and yeah, we've got a couple of good ones on them today as well. So
No, that's good. As I said, you've nailed it. Now, you've just mentioned the bulky hogs. I think a lot of the people, that everybody's coming out with this new stuff, and guys forget to go back to the original stuff, don't they? But yeah, the fish haven't seen that for years.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the power baits. Sort of grew up fishing with those, and then Gulps came out. Obviously, a very successful product. Still use them a lot, but I think a lot of the fish wise up now. But you just got to keep mixing it up. Find something that works, whether it's an old school lure or something new that's just come out. It's got to keep mixing it up.
Well, that's it. As I said, the best lure in your tackle box is the one you got on the end of your line.
Yeah.
And as I said, you nailed it. You worked it out. Congratulations. You got $10,000. You've run the Evinrude Skeeter package. You're happy with the boat? You're happy with the motor?
Yeah, everything was working.
Josh helped you out with a bit of work.
Yeah.
Riley helped you out with a bit of work. Everything's come together for you. You've sacked Karen, your old partner. You've linked up with Adrian. You've got the goodies, and yeah, as I said, congratulations. Hopefully you guys will be back next year. There'll be a lot of guys trying to run you down next year, and as I said, we are sort of going to increase it to 6 rounds next year. Your home water, Lake Macquarie, could get 2 if we're lucky. We're trying to get a winner and a summer bite. So, I mean, you guys will be hot favourites up there, and as I said, that's about all we've got to say. It's all we can say. You got the goodies, and we always like to thank Mark for filming it. We'd like to thank Berkeley and Evinrude, the naming, and the whole host of sponsors, which sort of makes it possible for you guys to come out and do the comps. All right, well, that's it. As I said, from behalf of Scotty, myself, Mango, the BIA, we've had this at the Sydney International Boat Show. I mean, look at this. You would not get. The crowds have been awesome. The feedback's been awesome. And I said that's it for 2010. Looking forward to the 2011. Any of this information or the previous interviews, you can log on to bets2010.com.au. But next year it will be changing to betsbrim.com.au. All right, thanks guys. Congratulations.